Okay, so this is my most recent horror story. I've had a few of them, to be fair, but this in particular is I decided to pick up a Macintosh SE 30 untested on eBay, which is always a bit hit and miss. You can get machines cheaply sold as seen, but they will usually bite you, which I've learned in the past. The Mac SE 30 is particularly collectible and desirable because it's the fastest of the compact Macs. It's got a 32-bit data bus, unlike the later machines like the Mac Classic and the Classic 2. It's got a fast, full 68030 CPU, and you can run up to 128 meg of RAM on them. So they are a very, very powerful machine. So this one, from the outside, looked not too bad. The Samazimac style lines on the screen is a very common failure mode for a lot of classic Macs. Usually it can be as simple as replacing the SMD electrolytic capacitors on the digital board, for example. But in this case, sadly, it wasn't quite so lucky, which you can see on the down here, all of this corrosion. So that's first looks inside the machine. You can see how dirty it is first off. Usually that's not too much of a problem, but that corrosion and all of that dust kind of starts ringing alarm bells, you know. And then this is what the main board looked like, unfortunately, when I ended up pulling the main board out. So classic Macs or kind of compact Macs typically have a battery-backed PRAM for settings for date and time and the like. And they've got a lithium battery on board, Maxwell lithium battery, and they're known to leak and cause all manner of issues. And this in particular is one of the worst leaks I've personally seen. We've seen a few machines destroyed, but this one in particular, yeah. So that's on the face of it. Looks pretty horrible. Cleaned up, it's not quite so bad, but you can see the trace damage in particular around, well, particularly under where the battery holder was, and also the damage to the RAM multiplexer ICs, the F258s there. So I spent a bit of time trying to repair the board. These are very fine traces, and due to the corrosion, it's very kind of hard to get any kind of purchase on the existing solders. So in the end, I thought it would actually be potentially quicker and more reliable to actually just move to a new main board. So Ollie has actually reverse engineered the Macintosh SE 30 main board, which along with some other supporters, which is a huge amount of effort, and an absolutely fantastic project like this is genuinely a wonderful piece of engineering, because there are so many issues with these kind of compact Macs, SE30 in particular. There was actually a community warrant to need a replacement board. So you can actually go to your favorite PCB manufacturer and you can actually buy one of these boards. Will from KMac very kindly sold me one of his spare boards. That's this one. And then I've begun the arduous task of relocating all of these surface mount and through-hole parts from the original board onto the new board. Didn't take too long, to be honest. It was rather therapeutic. It's nice, you know, you can just sit, put some music on and hot air stuff off, put them on the new board. But the problem is that I didn't know what worked and what didn't from the old board, because the old board didn't work. So I spent the better part of, it's been 2 years on and off trying to get this system to work. So here's the board with all the components swapped over. That's what it looks like now. I've also taken the opportunity to upgrade it to 128 meg of RAM. And this is the machine afterwards. So if you remember how messy it was previously, basically dismantled everything, cleaned everything up, serviced the analog board as well, because in particular some electrolytic capacitors, particularly when they're getting hammered on the horizontal output of the drive for the CRT as well, are typically best to replace them, in my opinion anyway, for reliability moving forward. I also pulled out the original. It had a quantum mechanical hard drive. I think it was a 20 megabyte hard drive, the original. Replacing that with a blue SCSI SD card adapter. So nice and reliable, nice and fast. And I've got system 7.5.1 installed on there at the moment. So it's all working happily back together, but it's been a very long journey to get there. And I've actually, this is the original board with all the parts removed off it. I've actually got that framed here in my office as a kind of, I've got that here. It's a reminder not to buy Classic Macs sold as seen on eBay. So